So today I'm going to be taking you through all of the changes that are coming in episode 8, including maybe one hidden little change as well. And let's start here on Lotus. And the first change that wasn't really talked about too much is that this barrier has moved. Now you can come and put Sentinel Utility down in here early on at the start of a round, and just leave it rather than having to throw stuff like you would before, right? So that's the kind of first change. Second change here is that this is now non-spammable from most positions, but if you're in here, you can spam the little corner of it here, right? So just keep that in mind, right? The kind of middle part of it, I'll show you if I kind of shoot, from back here like this. You can't really spam, right? Or on this side, you certainly can't spam. But if you just get kind of close enough to the angle, you can then spam the kind of corner of it. So just keep that in mind. Obviously, this is a big, massive change. For those of you who haven't seen it, of course, this is a big one, and will very much change the way that this map is played. And in fact, for this video, I am going to focus more on the macro changes once we've kind of just quickly gone through all of the changes themselves. So next one is that this has been widened out, creating a 50-50 just there. The same is true for the little room here, that now we've got this kind of little corner as well to consider, and the same is going to be true for C. All of these changes were designed to help the defenders, so now we've got a 50-50 in here as well. These boxes have changed, this has changed, the pillars changed, the way you can plant the spike has changed as well, and all of this is basically to try and help defenders actually hold on to the site, and it will make a big deal in terms of the way that you play this map. The first reason for that is that the C site became quite a bit harder to take, right? With this angle in here and with some of these changes in general, I do think that the site got harder. Now also, one thing that people have noted is that there is no safe plant position. That even though this looks pretty safe back here, right? If you want to plant the spike here, obviously you're open to there. If you want to plant back here, obviously you're open to up there. Anywhere here is open to up there. But even this, you'll see, is actually not safe either. That you can wall bang this as the defenders, whether it's with an Odin or whatever, right? And you can see that I'm dealing damage to this, right? That this will take damage, that you can destroy, a sage wall if it is there through the wall from here, right? And so you can obviously hit anyone who's planting as well, that your head level will be there, right? That it will be there to be spammed. So it will be difficult to get a spam on someone here, but not impossible. So in theory, there is no fully safe plant spot from spam here on C, and also now you're having to deal with this kind of area as well, and this kind of angle up here that obviously won't be that friendly either. So there's just gonna be quite a few extra things to deal with as you're coming in here as the attackers, and it's not going to be easy, right? And so what you might see in response to that in terms of a macro sense is because it's also now going to be harder to just rush into B, right? That this is going to be tougher as well with clearing all of this left hand side as well. You can't now just, before when we were here on B, you used to come around this corner and you used to be able to just look straight and then look right and then look right? And that's quite a nice thing for the attackers to be able to do. But now you can't do that, right? You can't just come in here and look this way because you'll just die from here, right? So you've got more problems with just coming into B straight away as well. You've got more problems doing a B split also, though, in that this now is harder. Now, to be fair, I don't think you will see a ton of people playing this corner, right? It's just not a great position, I think, in general, right? That you've got nowhere to go unless you've got like a judge and you're really like cramping in there. It's just not going to be a great position to be in, right? So I don't think this one matters as much. So doing a B split will probably still be fine. And obviously the advantage of doing a B split is that, you can kill anyone, you'll see anyone from that angle in a straight 1v1 here straight away, and you won't have to deal with anything else. So doing B splits probably got more important, which means that taking A got more important. But taking A got harder as well, right? So you see here that obviously we've got this angle now. This is a place where, again, people are going to be playing. People are going to be getting up there. There's going to be Viper walls coming across here, creating little pockets in this area. There's going to be chambers getting aggressive in these areas, right? So it's going to be harder to take. And the thing that might change on this map as a whole, and I really do think this, is that you really might see a change in meta in terms of towards more initiators, right? To help you clear out some of these spaces. More KOs, more breaches, more Sovereign Fades, right? Maybe Sky doesn't see as much play, although Sky will still be good as well. But just more initiators in general to help clear this out. Because if fighting for A becomes more important, which if C is harder to take and B is harder to take and B splits are perhaps slightly more important or better, or we need to take more space on A because now maybe a retake is a bit easier with the changes as well, right? Now that this is now gone and this isn't a place to play now, right? That you think when you plant the spike here on A, there's less places to go. Right now, you can't go in the middle of this. Are you really going to sit here? Probably not, right? Which means that really you're only going to be, if you're playing on site, you're probably just back here somewhere, right? And there isn't that much else to clear for the defenders actually on site, right? So we need to maybe take a bit more space here, and doing B splits maybe is more important, which means that just taking A is going to be more important. Taking more space is going to be more important on this map in general. And so you'll probably want to be playing more initiators to help take that space, right? So this is my theory for Lotus, that is really what's going to be important, that those map changes will make a difference to this map, and you'll have to play it in a bit of a different way. And I think taking A, you'll probably no longer get away with just like, oh, the defenders took A, let's just run to C and we'll probably be fine, right? We saw that a lot in both ranked and pro games. That I feel like it's going to be tougher now overall. Okay, moving on to Icebox now, and a lot of the changes here on Icebox were to do with mid, right? The first thing is they added this box that got rid of like a little angle you could use at the start of the game, and also because they added this window, it would have meant that you could see into spawn from there, which obviously wouldn't be great. So they added this box. Let's continue on in mid, and as I said, we've added this window, which actually, upon first viewing this window from just the screenshots, I was kind of thinking more you'd be able to pick off people rotating across this way, right? But actually, if you look from this window, you can pick people off rotating, you know, all the way back here, right? That if they're coming like down the stairs and across this way, you can see them from this window. This is a gunfight that you will have. So this window really sees a lot, right? In terms of picking off rotations, if you have planted towards B, this window is pretty strong if you can actually get up here, which obviously means that this becomes a bit more of a contested area in terms of where you actually want people to go, right? Obviously, they widened this out as well, which again just makes this easier to do a B split. They kind of got rid of this whole area, if you aren't aware, which again just makes it so that doing a B split, like, you can, like, it makes sense. Right, like you can make sense of this area now, right? That you look ahead here, okay, this is clear, you come out this way, you clear this window, okay, this is clear, and now I'm on my way, right? And now I'm doing a B split. Now, how effective will this be? I still don't know, because you still have to worry about, you know, people being here in the vent. You still have to worry about people maybe coming out of this way. You still have to worry about, you know, maybe clearing the rest of the B site, right? And what's going on across the site still, right? So you still are going to have problems. You're going to have to take this space in mid, and people could still come behind you, right? As you're scaling up here, people could be dropping from here and coming behind you, but at least it's not a mess like it was before. So I think doing a B split is possible, but I think really for mid, you know, we will see a lot of people, you know, trying to lurk up into this area for the attackers and, you know, trying to get in here and, you know, then deal with this. Now, just to show you as well quickly, like, you know, the normal kind of Viper orb that people throw down there, you know, for the defenders, you know, you still probably can't see much, right, from this. So this window definitely is for the attackers more so, right? And obviously they've got these little boxes for cover as well. So for the defenders, it's more about denying someone from getting here rather than using this window yourself. For me, though, arguably the bigger change was this, right? Removing all of this space. Initially, again, off the screenshots, I did think that they removed this box. They haven't. I think they just moved it slightly, perhaps. But all of this, again, I think helps the attackers. I have no idea why they decided to help the attackers on this map. I don't really think that makes much sense at all. But really, you know, and I've shown this before, you can come and do, you know, a normal looking Viper wall, right? Viper walls that you would see commonly from before, and put this wall up, and there's really nothing the defenders can do from stopping you from getting up to this space, because obviously by removing all of this, right, what used to be here before, you used to see, you know, Jets getting aggressive and playing up here and stopping people from getting in by being aggressive. Now you're not going to see that, right? You used to see Jets perched on this box all the time. Are they ever going to do that now? Why would you do that now, right? It's just asking for death, right? Where there's just too much to deal with. So yeah, I really on this defense side, I don't know what to do here on B anymore, right? In terms of, it's just going to be hard to defend this, and it's going to be hard to stop people really coming in. You're probably going to have to play for spike denial, right? That's what you need to be focusing on here, because nothing changed on A either, right? So A didn't get changed at all. It's exactly how you remember it, you know, probably not fondly. So yeah, this is all the exact same as it was before. So again, in terms of a macro sense, in terms of what's going to change on Icebox, really, I think the biggest change will be probably that you get more B hits than you did before, right? I think generally you know, in the past, people tended to favor A bit more, right? And they used to come to this site a bit more. I actually think that now with this change early on in here, taking this space is easier. So you can probably reliably get up towards this space. And if you can reliably get here, I mean, you're a stone's throw away from the site, right? Like getting the rest of the site, you really only got to clear yellow and plant the spike. And that's it. Job done. And also because, you know, getting into tube and using this window is going to be very good when you plant, particularly, you know, on the B side. Right, with people flooding in this way, you can kill them. Also rotates, you know, if you are a defender and they've planted on B, right, now coming this way, you actually have to step out here, right? So you actually have to put yourself out into mid as well, right? Whereas before, when this was here, you know, you could kind of just run this side of it, right? And essentially just come on this side of it and not have to actually deal with anyone lurking in mid. Whereas now, if you're, you know, coming from this way, you do actually, you know, have to reveal yourself. So basically, planting on B just got a lot easier, is essentially what I'm trying to say. Not necessarily planting the spike itself, but just in terms of taking the space to get there and getting rewarded for that as the attackers, got easier, which makes it even harder on the defenders, because now, do you have to commit more to B? Do you have to commit more to mid so that they aren't lurking here? Does that make your A weaker, which means that it's easier to plant on A as well? Like, I don't really love the changes because I feel like it just makes it a bit of an attacker's paradise here on Icebox. And I think defending this map, what in terms of comps and stuff like that we might see change, we might just see, you know, more and more defensive comps to help, you know, mitigate some of the problems the defenders are now facing. But all of them were deceived. For another change was made. Deep in the fires of Mount Doom, Riot decided to make a change here on Breeze. But you might notice that this door is open. Now, here's the thing. There isn't the barrier sign here either. So initially I thought, oh, can you actually just go in here? You can't, right? The barrier is there as, you know, as if it was a barrier. It's not on the map. So I don't know if this is something that they were just testing and actually won't make it into the game. But if this does make it into the game, this is a change that could make a difference, right? Not a massive one, but you could definitely see a chamber, you know, putting a TP down there at the start of the round, getting out here into mid pretty early in a round, and being able to TP to a very safe location, right? That is pretty good.
That is bloody lovely.
For, you know, agents like Chamber, also for someone maybe like Sova, right? To send a dart there early in the round, right? That if you did want to send, you know, a dart, I don't know the lineup, so let's hope I don't hit anything here. But if you wanted at the start of the round to just send a dart out there, right? That kind of reveals out towards A. That before, when doing that, after doing that dart, you'd have to come around here, you know, and then you'd have to jump down, and then you'd probably have to, you know, get into a position or something like that. Whereas now it's just, you know, you send the dart and you just run forward and you're in the round, right? I'm in the round. I'm in it. I'm ready, right? I'm more ready. I'm in the round much quicker than I was before, and I've sent out a very good dart, right? So that could make a change as well to something like that. Obviously, also for defenders rotating, you know, from B coming across to A, if the door does stay open at the start of the round, you know, you can rotate through this way, and again, you know, no one is really here. I think that this is honestly why they might do this change, is because it makes it so that people will rotate this way, which gives you a reason to actually play here as the attackers, right? To have this fight across here. But if no one is there, you know, again, you're straight in the round, right? As people are coming onto the site, you're here. You're waiting for them. You can send utility straight away, right? There's no delay. There's no nothing. It's just happening straight away. I think probably what Riot's thinking is they perhaps thought that people would open the door at the start of every round, right, as the defenders, because it makes sense for them to do so. But no one really has done that. No one's been wasting their time doing that. So just start with the door open anyway. Admit that this kind of doesn't really work without this part of the map. Just have it be open and, you know, just allow defenders to kind of, you know, be in the round a bit earlier, a bit quicker with these kind of things. And I think that it could make a bit of a difference. Maybe this would be a reason to actually go and play Chamber on this map. So let's talk about the agents, where we got a big deadlock buff coming in as well. The first thing is the barrier mesh is now gigantic. As you can see, it now stretches 10 meters in every direction if it doesn't hit any walls, which is a big difference, because now this will actually probably mean that it will cover what you want it to, right? Whereas before it was clunky and could miss very easily, now it probably will hit what you want it to and actually be a barrier that the opponents actually have to destroy and get round, rather than being able to, you know, just walk past it, which is a big change. The other big change for Deadlock is in the sonic sensors. Not only can you recall them now, but also the stun goes off much quicker from when it was detected, right? So you can see just there, wow, look at that. It's going off very, very fast indeed, and it will stun people very quickly, and you can recall them now. So if you do misplace them, you can recall them from a very, very long way away as well. So they're easy to replace. Will this make Deadlock meta? Probably not, but it does mean you probably can play her and not feel like you're absolutely trolling. Another agent who got a change was Killjoy. This one was to the turret, because now when you place the turret, you can see it doesn't go 180 like it used to. It only goes 100 degrees. Now, the thing is with this, I've come to Haven because it would have impacted this turret. This is the turret that kind of wouldn't have worked, right? Because now if they came out of sea, this turret wouldn't see them. But of course, Haven is now not in the rotation. So on a lot of the other maps that are in the rotation, really this nerf won't have that big of an impact. Really, you won't be seeing too much of a change. You'll just have to be a bit more precise maybe with where you place these Killjoy turrets, but luckily for you, they have given you a handy little guide here on what exactly the turret will see. But now let's talk about the biggest change arguably coming in episode 8, and that of course is the Outlaw, the gun that deals 140 to the body. So any 2 shots to anyone, how did that miss, will kill them. Of course, even 2 leg shots actually will kill anyone and deal 238. So yeah, this gun pretty good, and most people seem to think that this gun is going to be, you know, pretty broken. Of course, you can see that it does shoot pretty fast, as you see just there. The reload time, as you can see, is pretty slow. It does reload quicker if you only reload 1, as you see just there, but the gun is pretty good. Now, will it break the game? A lot of people think so. I'm kind of more on the side that it will be good but not break the game, just because it is a sniper rifle with a, you know, very slow reload time. So, you know, I think the only agents that will use it consistently will be agents like Jet, Chamber, maybe Raze, maybe Yoru. But, you know, other than that, you probably won't see a ton of this in a lot of people's hands. I'm more of the fact that it will be a very strong second round buy. After you win the pistol, I think this is an absolute, like, yes, buy it, because obviously, you know, it's going to destroy people with no shields, and potentially on that third round, if people do go light shields when they don't have a ton of money, you know, it'll destroy them as well. So I think early on in a half, it will be very, very strong. A very good purchase to get. But I think overall, I'm not sure it'll break the game. And honestly, even if it does break the game, you know, we saw when the Ares was just a bit too good for a second. You know, they nerfed it within days. So I do think that they'd probably be quick to nerf it if it did completely break the game as well. And so those are all of the changes in episode 8. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and subscribe to the Acend channel.